The confrontation became personal. The resort, once seemingly serene, turned into an arena where every step was watched, every action interpreted. She sensed that the attention on them was no longer accidental. People observed them, trying to read hidden intentions, and this merciless transparency heightened the tension. He was constantly near, yet her anxiety did not fade. She saw doubt, fatigue, and a hidden struggle in his eyes. The struggle between duty, past obligations, and what they were building together. She spoke to him of her feelings, her fear that any misstep could undo their efforts. He listened and responded through actions, creating the impression that their union was not just passion, but a strong, albeit fragile, strategy. That evening, when they found themselves on a deserted stretch of beach, became a turning point. She noticed the woman watching them, as if testing their reactions, trying to gauge the strength of their bond. In response, she allowed herself to exercise influence openly for the first time. A subtle interjection in a conversation, a delicate reference to details undermining the rival's authority. She felt confident, almost masterful. He was struck by her determination. He no longer saw her solely as a lover. He saw a partner, someone capable of acting subtly and purposefully. This sense of unity strengthened their closeness, even as tension around them continued to rise. Yet that same evening brought an unexpected twist. They overheard a conversation revealing a new secret of the woman, one more dangerous than any before. The secret, previously only suspected, could destroy not only her, but everyone entangled in the intrigue. She realized that the moment of truth was approaching, when they would have to decide whether to act or wait, and that the cost of error could be devastating. The following morning brought a tension that could not be ignored. The resort, which had seemed idyllic, had become a place of hidden war, where every gesture and word carried weight. She felt that the previous moves had been mere preparation for the true confrontation, and her heart tightened with the premonition of the inevitable. He remained nearby, but now his presence was charged with taut determination. She saw his eyes constantly seeking her reactions. Every detail, a signal, every word, a test. She spoke of her doubts and fears, of how easily trust could be shattered. And he listened, responding with quiet yet convincing actions, care, attention, protection. The rival finally ceased concealing her irritation. In the evening, amid the resort's evening luxury, she approached them directly, without hints or smiles. Their gazes collided, and the tension became palpable to everyone present. Few words were exchanged, but every gesture and intonation spoke of veiled threats, old scores, and difficult choices. For the first time, she tasted the power born not from force, but from mastery over circumstance. She acted confidently, taking steps that undermined the rival's position without violating her own principles. He watched her with awe and apprehension simultaneously, sensing that their alliance had reached a new level one, where the personal and the strategic were inextricably intertwined. That evening, they learned a new detail. The rivals' connections to external players were more complex than they had imagined, and their actions could now affect the entire resort. She realized that a critical moment was approaching, where a single misstep would be far too costly, and understood that love, trust, and strategy were now intertwined, like sand beneath their feet, before an approaching storm. The next morning, clouds gathered over the resort, as if nature itself mirrored the tension between the people below. The wind carried the salty tang of the sea, mixed with unease, and even the tourists sensed that change was imminent. She walked along the shore, aware that all the previous days had been merely a prelude to the real storm, and that no one could return to the former serenity. He appeared at the right moment, and she felt their bonds solidify under external pressure. He spoke of plans and courses of action, and she, without interfering with his words, gave him strength through her presence. They had learned to understand each other without words, through touches, glances, and silence. Yet the storm at the resort was not only metaphorical. The rival mobilized her resources, bringing in investors and influential locals. She sensed that every action of theirs was now watched more closely. Every decision scrutinized. Their moves had to be precise, calculated, and daring. By evening, the storm reached the shore. Strong winds and sparse raindrops created an atmosphere of tension and isolation. Together, walking along the deserted beach, they felt the storm as a symbol of their struggle. They discussed possible courses of action, planning careful moves, and simultaneously savored the rare feeling of unity that comes from knowing someone will go to the end alongside you. It was that night that an event shifted the balance of power. They obtained information revealing the rivals' true motives and hidden connections, offering a chance, yet presenting a complex choice. They understood that the decisive moment was approaching, where love, strategy, and intuition would be key to victory. After the night storm, the resort felt different. The air was fresh and tense, as if nature had washed away old illusions and left only truth. She understood that every attempt to influence events now required absolute precision, lest the consequences be devastating. He was near her more often, and her presence now felt both a support and a reminder of the stakes. She shared her observations and conclusions, and he listened, analyzed, and made decisions capable of shifting the balance of power at the resort. Their alliance had become more than emotional attachment. It was a sophisticated strategic coalition. Meanwhile, the rival began acting more aggressively. She leveraged old connections, attempting to manipulate investors and hotel staff to maintain her influence, but accidentally uncovered information about her past schemes gave them the upper hand. She realized that their success now depended on keeping their cards hidden until the right moment and revealing their trump at precisely the right time. One evening, they met quietly on a rocky shore, far from prying eyes. She saw tension in his movements give way to resolve, fear replaced by certainty. They shared plans and forecasts, discussing which steps would minimize risk and maximize impact. But fate had an unexpected twist. One of their tactical maneuvers had been noticed by an outside observer, threatening to reveal their entire strategy. She felt anxiety rising within her, but alongside it came confidence that, together, they could manage it. Ahead lay a moment when decisive action was required, without letting fear dictate their choices. With each passing day, tension at the resort tightened like a drawn string. She felt the moment of truth approaching, when everything they had built would either hold or collapse instantly. He was near, and in his presence, she realized for the first time that their union was not merely a play of feelings, but a real force capable of withstanding any external pressure. The rival acted decisively, using old connections and influence to reclaim her position. She was clever and cold-blooded, but her maneuvers were gradually exposed, like a chess game where each move reveals a weakness. She understood that the time for a decisive strike had arrived. They had to act quickly, precisely, and boldly. At sunset, when the horizon set the sea ablaze with fiery colors, they met with key figures who could alter the balance of power. She noticed his confidence and determination, qualities she had previously lacked, and it inspired her. She offered her suggestions, refined the plans, and their joint strategy began to yield results. But the climax was not limited to strategy. Emotions flared with renewed intensity. She realized that their attachment had become inseparable from the struggle itself, making each step both risky and necessary. His touches and glances were no longer just comfort, they confirmed that they had chosen each other despite the chaos. That evening, they obtained the final piece of information capable of completely undermining the rival's position. The moment became a turning point, where love, strategy, and personal strength converged, creating a chance for victory. Yet ahead remained the ultimate test, where mistakes would be unforgivable and the stakes unbearably high. At dawn, The resort seemed deserted, as if nature itself held its breath before the decisive move. She and he met on the shore, discussing their final steps. Every glance, every movement was precise and calculated, like partners playing high-stakes chess. She understood that any mistake now would be too costly, and it lent her actions an extraordinary focus. He trusted her without reservation, allowing her to make decisions, adjust the strategy, and influence the outcome. Their alliance became a true partnership. He determined where courage was needed, where cunning and patience were essential. They knew that even the smallest detail could prove decisive. Meanwhile, the rival attempted to outmaneuver them, using her remaining resources, promises to investors, pressure on staff, even overt threats. But with the intelligence they had gained and their coordinated tactics, they evaded every trap. She felt pride in her ability to influence the course of events, and astonishment at how deeply her emotions had become part of this game. As the sun rose over the horizon, their maneuver succeeded. The rival found herself in a position where her move was impossible. All her cards were revealed, and her influence reduced to a minimum. She saw that victory had been achieved not only through cunning, but through their shared strength, trust, and ability to act as one. That evening, walking along the beach together, the silence and the sound of the waves felt like allies. She sensed that the struggle was over, yet the love they had carried through the intrigues had become something real and enduring. Still, a quiet awareness lingered. The unexpected could always return, hinting at a new, equally thrilling chapter in their lives.